Chosen vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man Druuill, and I'm back at you again with another video. Let's get right into it, y'all. Always be willing to learn. You never know where life may use an opportunity to teach you something you need to know. Always be willing to learn. All right, there's some things in life that happen that may get you upset, may get you frustrated, but God's trying to use it as a lesson. There's been plenty of things in my life that if I had just calmed down and relaxed and saw what God was trying to teach me, I'd be okay. But sometimes we get frustrated. Sometimes that anger, sometimes our situation gets the best of us and we lose sight. Okay, we lose sight of our mind, of what we're supposed to be thinking. All right, we lose sight of the thoughts that we're supposed to be thinking and what we're supposed to be telling ourselves. So always be willing to learn. You never know when a situation is trying to teach you something. There's plenty of situations in life where God may be trying to teach you something, all right? Maybe God will use a situation to where you're late one day where he's trying to tell you that you should have left earlier, all right? Or maybe if you go somewhere and you didn't have any business being there, maybe your trip back is going to be horrible. So it'll make you rethink going to that place again. God uses situations to make us think. So whenever things are uncomfortable, whenever things are bad, whenever things aren't going well, or whenever things are not the way we want them to be, that's an opportunity for us to learn. All right, that's not an opportunity for us to be upset. It takes growth. All right, it's not easy to not be angry when life is happening. Okay, it's natural for you to feel some type of way when life happens to you, but also don't be afraid to use your wisdom. Don't be afraid to count on your intuition and your knowledge and your understanding to know when God is trying to teach you something. All right, so say you get caught out in the middle of nowhere and you end up getting stuck. You end up making a wrong turn. It's possibly something out there that God is trying to show you. Maybe it's someone out there that you were supposed to meet. Okay, you ever end up going in the wrong direction and end up being a positive outcome? You end up meeting someone that you were supposed to meet. You end up finding out something that you wouldn't have found out about the area you stay at or yourself. All right, you end up going the wrong way and you end up bumping into somebody that's really cool, or somebody that you would have liked to meet, or somebody that you were meant to meet. All right, a divine connection. Sometimes you're meant to have a divine connection. So what you feel is getting carried out of your way, what you feel is a waste of time, what you feel may be ruining your day because you ended up someplace where you weren't supposed to go. Now you feel your time's being wasted. You're upset. You're angry. Oh man, my day is this, that, and the other. Upset. Might have said a couple curse words, but then you end up running into somebody and it changes your whole mindset. It shifts your whole reality and how you feel about the situation, to where now you're looking at the situation from a positive mindset, from a positive view. And whatever this person taught you, or whatever you learned from this person, you were meant to learn that. You were meant to come across that information. You were meant to come across that person to learn that lesson, for them to teach you whatever it is that God wanted you to know. And it just so happened that that person had the answer, and you divinely ran into that person, because there's no mistakes, there's no coincidences in the universe. All right, so things happen for a reason. Things happen divinely. All right, so things happen in divine timing. All right, so as things happen in divine timing, all right, you'll see that there's nothing to be upset about. There's nothing to be frustrated. All right, the universe, God is always trying to teach you something through people, through messages, through life situations, through things that happen to us. And we're supposed to learn, and we're supposed to take from that situation, and we're supposed to grow and become better and use and take from it what we learn and apply it to our life. Okay, so always be willing to learn. You never know where life may use an opportunity to teach you something. That's just one thing. All right. Sometimes where you might call a restaurant, you may be trying to get something to eat, and They may be real busy. You may be upset because you didn't get your favorite food that day. You never know. They may have had a recall on that food, and if you have ordered it, you could be in the hospital. You could have got sick. You never know. God works in mysterious ways. All right. It's always something that is working out for your benefit. All right. Always be willing to learn. Always be willing to use the opportunities that life gives you to advance yourself and make your life better. All right. You may be in the mall, right, and you may be running across something. You may be looking. You may have come across a homeless person. All right, and everybody else may have passed over that homeless person. You may have it just may have been on your spirit to listen to that person and talk to them. They ended up teaching you something that you needed to know. They ended up giving you an idea that you needed to know. Standing there and talking to them might have sparked something in your mind about your own life. Okay, wow, maybe I need to slow down. Maybe I need to not take life so serious. All right, no, I don't need to be I don't need to make myself poor, or I don't need to make myself a bum, but I need to take things a little easier. I need to take things a little less serious. I need to have a less serious approach for my health wise. Okay, it's good to be serious about your life. It's good to care about where you're going in life, but you don't want to care about it to the point where it damage your health. You don't want to care about it to the point to where you're uneasy and it's causing stress in your life. Okay, and that's what some people may be there to teach you. You're not supposed to pick up everything from everybody, but wherever you can learn some things from some people, maybe the universe, maybe God is trying to have you come across certain people so you can learn certain things from them. So no, I'm not saying go out and give up everything and not have nothing. But one thing you can learn from certain people is to take things easy, to not let things bother you that much, because life's not that serious. It is, but it's not serious enough to where you should lose your health, or you should let your health deteriorate, because at the end of the day, God's in control of everything, and he makes everything all right, and everything will be better according to him. Okay, so always be willing to learn. You never know. You never know when God is going to use someone or something or some experience to try to teach you and to try to send you a message, because God is always using people to communicate with you. All right, God's always using people to talk to you. That's how God talks to us, through other people. So you never know. That you don't judge a book by its cover. You never know when an angel might be sent to you. Okay, it might not come as someone that you would prefer. It may not come as someone that you would like to look at. It may not come as someone who you would like to be seen speaking with. But you never know. Okay, it might be an angel. All right, you never know. All right. I was at the I had speaking of which, my own story. I end up someplace where I ain't had no business ending up, because I ended up making a wrong turn. But if I didn't make this wrong turn, I would have ran into uh this angel, because I ran into this older gentleman. He had a beard, and he looked like he was homeless, and he was just sitting at the bus stop. And it was just weird, because like it was just so weird. And he was just like, I'll be sitting right there. You need me if you ever come back here. He's like, I hope I see you again, because me and him had a talk. And he was like, I'll be sitting right there. I was so mad that I ended up in the wrong spot. I was so frustrated. Okay, I was so angry. I was like, yo, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm hungry. I want to shower. I want to chill. I want to eat. I want to relax. Me. So worried about me. God had to sit me down and tell me to slow down, and that everything is going to be okay, because I was worried about my situation, worried about whether I'm going to be able to have things work out, whether I'm going to be able to take care of myself. Okay, I was worried about my situation. Okay, and God had me take the wrong direction, and some things happened along the journey. Looking back now, that lets me know everything's going to be all right. Okay, ended up going through some things, ended up getting misplaced in an area that wasn't the area I wanted to be in, and I was upset. I was stranded. Okay, I ended up running into a gentleman who owns a food company, and shout out to Soul of the Sea, by the way. Okay, and I ended up running into this man who owns a food company, and they gave me a ride back to where I was going. But I was so upset. I was angry to the point where I kind of was just upset and mad, and I forgot about God. Okay, I didn't even understand that God was taking me and God was guiding me. Okay, I didn't understand. I didn't understand I was being divinely guided. I was so upset that I was headed in the wrong direction and things weren't going my way and things weren't going how I wanted them to go, that I was so upset and in my ego that I was starting to trip. I'm like, man, I'm not where I want to be. This is you can't get out of here easily. This is a hard place to leave. So I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm mad. You can't tell me anything. And then here comes this, a few years ago, I don't know how I would have responded. So this is how I know it was nothing but God. This older man walks up to me, and I'm sitting here by the McDonald's trying to get Wi-Fi because my phone is off. And that's another reason why I was upset. I just wanted to go where I was going and get home because my phone was off. I didn't have any internet, well, not being by the Wi-Fi. So I'm like, oh man, I knew I shouldn't have went anywhere because my phone was off. I thought I could just get to point A to point B and just get to where I needed to go and I was going to be okay. But no, my phone was off, and that's the day that I had to be stranded. Okay, this is how you know God works in your favor. All right, when you believe in Him and you trust in Him. I was so upset and so angry. All I could think about was my situation. This older gentleman walks up to me and he looks homeless. His clothes look dirty. And I don't even understand how I didn't give him an attitude. Okay, I think because I'm working on myself and I've been reading my Bible and I've been praying and asking God to renew my mind and give me a new heart and a new spirit and things like that, that I was able to find some peace of mind throughout the chaos, and be able to be a good person for myself, so that way I didn't treat this man disrespectfully, because it's not good to treat people disrespectfully no matter how they look. Okay, no matter what you're going through, it's not good to treat people with disrespect. So I'm like, I know I'm going through something, God. I'm like, man, let me treat this guy with some respect. So I'm sitting here kind of ignoring him at first, talking to him, and he's sitting there talking to me, and his conversation is starting to make me feel at ease. And I'm like, yo, this is kind of what I do for people. And it's like he's talking to me, and I'm like, yo, I'm starting to chill out. I'm starting to feel better and relaxed. I'm like, wait a minute. I started to look at this dude, and I'm really hearing what he's saying. I'm forgetting that I'm starting to feel like I belong there. I'm starting to feel at home. I'm starting to feel good. Like after the whole thing was over, I'm like, yo, that had to be an angel. And I'm like, man, as weird as it gets, even weirder. Okay, and I'm talking to dude, and he's telling me his little chosen trials and tribulations. And I'm like, oh snap! I'm like, OG chosen one. I'm like, oh snap! So all the dots are starting to connect. He's telling me he's trying to do work, and he couldn't. I don't want to be homeless now. All right, he's telling me he couldn't do work and his situation, and but he wasn't homeless. He's just chilling out by the bus stop. That's what made me think he was an angel, because it's like I'm. The man was sitting at a bus stop, and he don't even take the bus. He's just sitting there, occupied, no phone, no internet, just sitting there watching people like he's on assignment from God or something. But it gets even weirder because he's talking to me, and he's like, "You're not from here, are you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not, man." And I'm trying not to give him an attitude. I'm like, "No, I'm not from here." I'm like, "I'm stranded out here." I'm like, "This is one of the worst places to be." He's like, "Yeah, I know." And he's sitting there talking. He's like, "Be careful." He's like, "They'll kill you." And I'm like, "Wait a minute." I'm like, "Won't nobody kill me?" I'm like, "I'm divinely protected and never neglected." And we started talking, and he's like, "Ah." He's like, "Maybe that's why nothing happens to me, because that's what I always." He's like, "I always believe in stuff like that." We start talking, and I start forgetting about my situation. I start to feel better. But also, even when I got out there, just to show you how God works, somebody was out there that was able to give me a ride. So even when I was out there, I wasn't stuck. All right, God won't leave. God will divinely guide you, and He'll never leave you or forsake you. There was somebody out there that was able to get me up out of there still. All right. So no, even though the enemy tried to get me stuck, and this all started because I got on a bus and a lady told me that I was headed somewhere that I wasn't. I asked her, I said, "Does this bus go through here?" And she said yes, and she lied to me. So I ended up getting upset. All right. I ended up getting frustrated, and I didn't want to hear nothing from nobody. But this guy was able to help bring some peace to my spirit. All right. End up Imagine ending up 2-3 hours away from your destination because you ask somebody, you're in a place where you don't know. You're like, hey, does this bus go here, or is this where I'm supposed to go? They tell you yes. And the person, I know the person lied to me because I could see that they were working for the enemy. After a while, I said, oh man, I said, we've been hoodwinked. I got hoodwinked. Okay. But it's my fault. I should have known where I was going. But still, everything happens for a reason because she meant it to me for bad, but God meant it to me for good because I met OG Chosen One, and I will be going back there. I might even have a video with him. All right, might even do a video with OG Chosen One. All right, because I gotta go back there and I'm gonna buy him a platter because the conversation that me and him had it touched my spirit, man. So I gotta go back and check on him. And the crazy thing is, he's like, I'll be sitting right there. And he just sits there and watches people, y'all. He just sits there and watches people, y'all. All right. And man, I don't know if y'all seen some of these movies, but they had the man. I don't want to freak nobody out, okay? But lo and behold, we keep talking. I start to feel better. I start to forget about my situation. Even though I'm out there and I'm stuck for a little minute, I'm stuck out there for like 3 hours. It's like 5. They don't leave until 8:30. And it didn't end up leaving until 10. So I was stuck out there for 5 hours, man. I was heated, okay. But the thing is, God was working in my favor. All right, He wanted me to calm down. He wanted me to relax. He wanted me to realize that everything was going to be okay. All right. He wanted me to realize that even though I thought it was the end of the world, even though I was upset, He was still there working for me. Okay, so even when things go wrong, God still got your back. There's plenty of lessons to be learned from this story. And I'm talking to this man, and he's telling me he's trying to find work, and people are like, he was working at the McDonald's just picking up trash. People were accusing him of doing things that he wasn't doing. So it's like another guy in his apartment complex, his girlfriend accused him of looking in the window. So he almost got stabbed. He was fighting somebody, he told me. All right. Somebody tried to stab me. I don't know, man. Mm. All right, but he said he fought him off, and that was it. Okay, I don't know how mad I'd be if that man. I rebuke that, and I pray that none of those things happen to me, and I pray that I don't come across anybody that tries to do me any harm. Let me put it that way. All right, I don't want the presence of God in me to have to meet the presence of God in them. Okay, and that's not in a good way. All right, if the presence of God in me is meeting anybody, I hope it's in a good way. All right, but he was telling me that this dude's girl lied on him, and then he had to fight the boyfriend, and he had to block some knives, and he punched him and knocked him out. And it's like, I'm like, yo, that's like almost like that sounds biblical, man. And I'm talking to dude, and he was like, he could tell whether people are a good Christian or not. And he was like, he said he could see glows on people, and he was like, I see one on you. And I'm like, this is the part that freaked me out. He said, people probably look at you strange, don't they? And I'm thinking, this man's crazy. All right, I'm sitting here trying to put my best foot forward and listen and believe, and I'm like, this dude's nuts. And he's sitting there, he's like, I can see a glow on people. And he's like, when people look at me, he's like, they look at me like they don't know what they're looking at. But he's like, I can see glows on people. He's like, I see one on you too. He's like, people when they look at you, he said they probably look at you like this. And he lifted his glasses up and was like squinting like he was trying to make, man, that was the weirdest. That was weird, y'all. That was weird. All right. And he said he was talking about people going up in the sky and stuff like that. And he was like, he said the people with the glow, he said they're gonna be going up. He said everybody, he said all the other people, he said they're gonna be right down here. And I was like, okay, OG Chosen. I'm like, all right. And that's pretty much where it went after that. We just started talking about like more chosen stuff, and he was telling me about certain things he experienced and people accusing him stuff and people wronging him and slandering him and how they were doing him dirty and saying he was doing things that he wasn't. Okay, but always be willing to learn. I could have wrote him off. I could have ignored him. I could have been like, man, this man's dirty and look like he stink. I don't want nothing to do with this. But I didn't. I was out there, and a higher power must have put it on my spirit and was like, yo, you need to hear this. You need to listen to him. And he was telling me, he was like, yo, you got a glow on you. And I was like, I was like, wow, bro. And he was just like saying that all the chosen ones have the glow. We all have a glow on us, okay? You never know what somebody is going to tell you, all right? Let this story, take heed of this story. You never know. Entertain certain strangers, okay? You never know if you're in the presence of an angel or not. And the thing is, after that, because I had walked away because I had to sit near the person that was about to take me to my destination so I wouldn't get left. And dude was like, he said, you ever come back here? He's like, I hope I see you again. He was like, you ever come back here? He said, I'll be sitting right there, just watching. I was like, I was blown away. I was like, okay, all right, keep doing your thing, OG Chosen. And yo, I learned something that day. But the thing is, if I didn't end up going in the wrong direction, if I didn't end up getting on the wrong bus, if I didn't end up getting wronged by that lady, okay, it wouldn't have. Who knows what would have happened? Okay, but things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, and God works in mysterious ways. You never know how God is working for you, so always be willing to learn. You never know where life may use an opportunity to teach you something you need to know. I want to thank everybody for checking this video out. Okay, this has been another DruuTube special. Shout out to the chosen vessels. I want to thank all the new subscribers. Welcome, have fun. Okay, thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you all for showing some love in the comment section. And thank you for hitting the like button because it helps the channel reach a wider audience. And I know you want to see me grow. All right. And I want you to grow with me. So continue to watch these videos. I'll see everybody in the next video. Shout out to the chosen vessels. DruuTube out.